Did you want to come over here? You want to come over here? You can be good? Hey guys, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have my November book haul. So, this is the biggest book haul that I have for 1 month. For this year. I did some book hauls earlier this year where I was actually doing pretty well, and I was doing 2 months at a time together, and those were sort of big. But this month I have 45 books to show you guys. Thank you. Do you want it? Good job. Now come over here. But this month I have 45 books to show you guys. 45, yes. Obviously the mic dropped right there for him. I have talked to my husband about my my buying issues, and he is very good about being too supportive of my buying habits, my spending habits with books. Basically, as long as I have the extra money to do it, he's fine with it. However, I have way too many TBR books, and so we have talked about him being a little bit more strict with me and being more supportive in my book buying ban. I'm not going to go on a whole ban next year, but I'm definitely going to be cutting down on my spending. However, because we have talked about that, somehow in my brain it tells me I now have free reign to buy as much as possible, and I feel like that definitely happened this month. Next month should not be as bad, crossing my fingers and hoping, but yes, 45 books. We're actually going to start with the ones that I technically bought last month, but I bought them off eBay, and they didn't come in time for me to actually show you guys. So I've been buying older book covers on eBay. I bought the Night World series by L.J. Smith last month, and I also ended up buying books 2, which is this one, Final Friends Book 2, The Dance, and Book 3, The Graduation by Christopher Pike. I actually own the entire series in a different cover, and I had the first one of this one, and these are the ones that I prefer stylistic-wise, and they were just really hard to find. I have been looking for these on and off for years, actually, and they're usually very expensive. These must be sort of rare. However, I found them each for about $7 on eBay. Had to pick them up. They smell still a little bit perfumey, a little cologne-y, not as bad as when I first bought them, but I'm very excited to have these. I've actually read book 1 and 2 previously, again, years ago, and so I do want to finish this series eventually. And then I also ended up buying another L.J. Smith series. This is The Forbidden Game. So we have book 1, The Hunter, book 2, The Chase. Yeah, the cats like the books that smell a little bit perfumey. These ones don't actually. And book 3, The Kill. So these ones are actually part of a series that I have finished. I actually read these again a few years ago in a bind-up edition that was like a reprint of these books. It was a young adult bind-up from like the teen section that I bought years ago. I liked it when I read it. However, I didn't really like the cover. Didn't really know if I was going to ever reread them. However, I love this like old 90s style teen YA paranormal sort of stuff, and so when I saw these on eBay, these I got a little bit cheaper, just like maybe like $3 or $4 a book. I had to pick them up. These ones are a little bit more trashed than the other books I've bought off eBay, which is not necessarily a bad thing because they are quite old, but yeah, I had to pick them up. I've already read these, so yeah, these are gonna go straight onto my actual shelves once I'm done with this video. Then I have a whole stack of books, all written by Rachel Kane. As we all know, she passed away from a very aggressive form of cancer earlier this month. I believe it was actually November 1st. And because of that, I have started some series by her. I've read some other series that I've finished. And I personally have always loved her as an author, but I haven't been buying the books. And so I went on a little bit of a spending spree because of that. And so yes, I now have, I think, 9 books all by Rachel Kane here to show you. So the first, okay, come back around this way, please. Can you come over here? Come over here. Come over here. Good job. Go that way. So the first ones that I have here are going to be the Stillhouse Lake series by Rachel Kane. I'm pretty sure I have them in order. This is her adult thriller series. The last one of this, the 5th book, is going to be coming out, I believe, in March. I've already pre-ordered that one as well. But we do have Stillhouse Lake, Kilman Creek, Wolf Hunter River, and Bitter Falls. Then I also picked up the last 4 of the 5 books in her Great Library series. I have the first one, have not read it yet, but I do own it. And oh my gosh, can you see these spines? Like this, I love this aesthetic of these books so much. But like I said, I do own the first one, definitely want to read it. Again, I'm pretty sure I have these in order, but we have Book 2, Paper and Fire, Ash and Quill, Smoke and Iron, and Sword and Pen. And then last but not least, we have the 3rd and I think final book in the Honors trilogy. This is written actually with a co-author, so it's Rachel Kane and Anne Aguirre, who I also really enjoy. I read the first book in this series earlier this year, really enjoyed that one. I have the second one that I need to get to, and so the only other one that I was missing was the 3rd one, so this is Honor Lost. And I don't think I mentioned, both the Honors series and the Great Library series are YA. The Great Library series is YA fantasy, and the Honors is YA sci-fi. Now we're moving into new releases, basically, for November. I have A Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. This is a fantasy romance dealing with fae. I don't know too much about it. I've actually never read an Elise Kova, although I do have a couple of her books on ebook that I do need to get to. But this cover is freaking gorgeous, and I did end up getting the hardcover because look at that. My husband's calling me. I love you. Love you too. And goodbye. Okay, as I was saying, look at how gorgeous this is. Like, the entire book is gorgeous. I could not pass up the fact when I realized how gorgeous it was going to be. I got this off of her Etsy because it is also signed. But when I saw how gorgeous it was going to be, I had to act. Yeah, so pretty, huh? I had to get it. I could not pass this up. I was originally going to get this in ebook because I haven't actually read anything by her before. She is a quite popular indie author. Thank you. But yes, I had to pick it up. Again, fantasy romance with fae. It says, the elves come for 2 things, war and wives. In both cases, they come for death. I'm very excited for this. I'm hoping to get to this soon, but it is just such a gorgeous book. You can't have that, baby. Put it back. No, no, no. No, no, no. Come back. Come back. Come back, come back. Then I also have Written in the Stars. This is going to be by Alexandria Bellafleur. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. But this is a romance. It's a female-female romance. And I've heard nothing but good things about this lately. And so I, for whatever reason, ended up picking up some romance stuff the last time I was at Barnes & Noble. And this one definitely made it into my cart because I need it. I don't know too much about it, but I needed it. Then I also have Secret Santa by Andrew Schaefer. I've actually already read this one. I read it as an e-arc, gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars technically, but I really, really enjoyed this one. Had to pick myself up a copy because I'm probably going to read it again next year at least. But this is a horror/holiday story. So I know the author on Twitter said like happy horror days, which I think is hilarious, but it is a horror. I don't feel like it's like horror gory stuff in your face, but it does have the creepy elements. I really liked our setup of this story, and I will talk about more of my actual review in my wrap up, but this is sort of like, I feel like it's almost like a comedy horror. I think the summary on NetGalley or something like that was billing it as almost like Stephen King meets The Office, because we do definitely have an office setting, but I feel also the humor, there is some humor in here. Like, it reminds me a lot of like Shaun of the Dead in the fact that we have comedy and humor, but there is still the underlying horror elements. It's not a zombie book at all, but there is both elements put together. I just really enjoyed this one, and I had to definitely pick it up. We also have a setting of publishing here, so if you are a book lover like me, I think you'll really appreciate the fact that our setting is like a publishing house in like the 1980s, so yes. Then I also picked up The Burning God by R.F. Kuang. I think everybody is hauling this right now, and I don't blame them. I read The Poppy War and The Dragon Republic earlier this year, and I'm sort of in the middle of rereads right now. I am just trying to space out my heartbreakingness from this series, but I definitely want to get to this one soon. I had to pick it up because this is our finale of this series, and I'm ready, but I'm not ready. This is a series that deals with a fantasy setting, but it also deals with Chinese historical elements, and those elements are very, very hard-hitting. They deal with war and devastation and grief and all this other kinds of stuff. So there are a lot of hard and triggering topics in here. I have no idea where we're actually going to go with this one, but it appears that everybody cries with this last one, and I'm not going to blame them. I am not ready, but I am. I need to read this by the end of the year. Then I also picked up These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. This is a Romeo and Juliet retelling in 1920s Shanghai with mafia or mobsters in it. I believe there's also fantasy elements. It's not just a strict historical retelling. I don't know much else, but I'm loving this cover, and I'm very, very excited for this as well. I mean, look at that under the dust jacket. Yes, very, very excited. I also picked up Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline. I really loved Ready Player 1 when I read it a few years ago. I also really enjoyed the movie when that came out, even though it's not exactly the same as the book. The 80s style references and the video game setting are just things that I absolutely loved. And this is a sequel. Now, I really do feel like Ready Player 1 ended on a pretty good standalone type of note, so I don't know how I feel about this. However, when I was in Barnes & Noble, I literally could not walk past the shelf without picking it up. I'm just too curious about this. I don't know if I'm going to get to it by the end of the year because I have so many other things that I need to read, but I need to know what's going to happen. I might hate it because I really did think Ready Player 1 was a really good standalone, but I had to pick it up. Then we have my Owlcrate book for the month of November. I did not do an actual unboxing on my channel this month just because I had no time to do it, but we have Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston. I have read Ashley Poston's Geekerella, really enjoyed that one. Even though it is a YA contemporary, and contemporary is not my choice of book normally, I do enjoy them, but it's not my favorite. This, however, is a YA fantasy, so I'm very excited about that. I'm also loving the cover and everything that they have for this Owlcrate edition. So instead of having a white background, we have more of a dark black. I believe it actually is black. Although, because it has so many purple elements, I feel like it's like a dark purple. I think it's black. We have a gorgeous dark book. We have these nice, these are almost like a maroony, mauve-y type of sprayed edges. Oh, so gorgeous. And then, because it is Owlcrate, they've been doing pictures under our dust jacket. So again, I have not read the book yet. I don't know how it all fits in, but we do have a couple kids riding on a bear in the middle of a forest. I'm loving this art style as well. It is so gorgeous. And then again, because it is Owlcrate, it is going to be signed. I'm very excited for this one. I'm going to be participating in the Reindeer Readathon in December. I don't know why exactly, because I should not have signed up for even more readathons when I've been sort of in a reading slump this month, and I have not been completing as many books as I should have for the Clear Your Shit readathon that I'm currently reading. However, for one of the prompts for the Reindeer Readathon, they have a book with a fox on the cover, and I was scratching my head trying to figure out a book with a fox on the cover, and then we received this, and it has a gorgeous little fox on the cover. So I might be reading this in December. It really just depends on how my reading goes. Now we're getting into more books that are not new. I think some of these are older. Some of these are sort of new, but they're not November releases as far as I remember. The first two books we have here are in the same series. This is in the Hush Note series. So we have the first one, Lies and Lullabies by Serena Bowen. I read a Serena Bowen earlier this year. Really enjoyed it. I think I gave it like 3-ish stars because there were some things that I didn't like as much. However, this is a rock star romance and I'm really hoping that I'm gonna like this one more because it's one of her newer books, but I'm very excited for this. And then we have book 3 because they said that they had book 2 at Barnes & Noble. It wasn't actually on the shelf when I was there, so I'll have to pick that up later, but they're all by different authors. And this is book 3, Muses and Melodies by Rebecca Yarros. I've never read a Rebecca Yarros, but I could not pass up these covers. Like, these look so good. I am so excited. I don't know which band member this one is. It just says a rock star, and I think this one's about the leading guitarist. This guy also has a guitar, I'm pretty sure. Book 2 is about the drummer. I'm very excited about that one as well, but I need to pick that up eventually. So we have some romances that are pretty recent. I also picked up The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. This is another adult romance or new adult romance. Thank you. Come back over here. That people just gush about, and so I definitely had to pick it up. I believe this is set in Alaska. I have been meaning to pick this up for a while, like a long time. Oh, can you please put that back? Put it back. Thank you. No touching. Good job. He's clapping to himself for putting it back. Okay, but yes, I had to pick this up as well. Can mommy have it? Put it back. Can you put it back? Put it back. No. Here. Play with your diapers. He has started pulling the books off the shelf. Usually he only does this with his books. I also picked up Black Sun by Rebecca Rowanhorse. This is another one that I read as an ARC. I was super excited for it. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because there are a couple point of view characters in here that I absolutely loved, but there's also some points of view that I just didn't like as much because of the political side of things. I will leave the wrap up for this link down below because I did read it last month, but I'm so happy that I have my hands on this. I need book 2 like as soon as possible. And one thing that I do love about this is that our maps are on our end papers, and I'm so excited for this because when I read the e-arc, there were no maps that were easily accessible while I was reading, and so when I probably reread this when book 2 comes out, I definitely want to have those maps because I think that'll definitely help my reading experience. Then I also am a Barnes & Noble member, so they were having an early sale online, but I did pick them up in store for their Black Friday stuff. I'm actually filming this on Saturday after Black Friday, but we did not leave the house on Black Friday. But their Barnes & Noble collector's editions were buy one, get one half off. I bought 4 of them, so basically I got one for free. We have The Stand by Stephen King. This is a huge chunker. I'm very excited for it. I've actually never read this one, but I love these special editions. Here's what it looks like on the back. And then our end papers. I do believe this one, I'm pretty sure, has to deal with a pandemic or a disease. So I don't think I'm going to be getting to it right away, but I'm very excited to have it. I also picked up The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I'm actually currently reading The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the books in it, one by one, slowly making my way through. I've read the first 2 so far, have enjoyed them well enough. The first one I really liked. The second one didn't really have as much of a plot for me. I will talk about it again in my wrap up for this month. Can you not? But I could not pass up this gorgeous edition. It's the exact same page numbers as the book that I'm currently reading. However, I think I am going to finish off this series in that other edition and then unhaul that one because this one's very, very pretty. Yes, very pretty. Can I show them? Oh, you're gonna show them? On the back it says, "Don't panic." here is our spine. You're okay. And our end papers. He's not happy with me taking these away. You also don't see the mess he's made over here. He has taken out almost every single wipe from his wipe container. This is what I get for thinking that he's being good, but he's actually just being quiet. And then we have And Then There Were None and Other Classic Mysteries by Agatha Christie. I read Murder on the Orient Express earlier this year and actually enjoyed it for being a classic, and I couldn't help myself. So this is a collection of stories. They have And There Were None, Crooked House, and Endless Night. So here is the back that explains what we have on there. Here's our spine. I love the spines on these books as well. And then here's our end papers. And then, like I said, I bought 4 of them, so I have one more. And that is going to be Death on the Nile and Other Hercule Poirot Mysteries by Agatha Christie. So I have, like I said, the Murder on the Orient Express that also has other, I think, Poirot mysteries. And so this one here will have Death on the Nile, The ABC Murders, and 5 Little Pigs. So again, here is the back and our spine. And then again, here are our end pages. All of the Agatha Christie ones are very similar end pages, but I love the aesthetics. So those were the last 2 Barnes & Noble classics that I had purchased. Now, we have a gigantic stack of manga and some comics. So, I have The Demon Prince of Momochi House, Volume 16 by Aya Shoto. This is the final volume in this series, which I'm behind. I need to finish this, but I'm very excited for this one. This is about a girl who inherits a house that is like on the border between our world and the like demon realm. Yes, good job. I also have Horimiya. This is volume 14 by Hiro and Daisuke Hagiwara. This is another series that I've been loving and reading, but I'm a little bit behind. This is about Hori and Miyamura, who are 2 kids at school, and at school they have like very different personalities than what they are outside of school, and they become friends, and I think there's a romance that blossoms. It's been a while since I read these, but I definitely need to continue with them. Then I also picked up Love Me, Love Me Not, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. These are by Ayo Sakisaka, who's the same author of Aoharu Ride that I still need to continue with. I read the first 2? 3? My brain's not working very well anymore. I read the first 2 or 3 of this series. It did start this year. I've really enjoyed them so far. We have 2 girls who are our main characters. We have Akari and Yuna, and they become friends in the first volume. However, they are very different personality-wise on their looks at like relationships and romance and that kind of stuff. I really love the parts that have both Akari and Yuna as our main focus, like their friendship. However, we also have them developing crushes and feelings for guys in their lives. So I don't know how much is going to stay mostly their friendship, how much is going to be romance, but I'm still really enjoying the series, so I had to pick up these ones. I also picked up Prince Freya, Volume 2, and Volume 3. This one is by Keiko Ishihara. I've read Volumes 1 and 2 so far, really enjoyed them, and I need Volume 3, so that's why I picked it up. This series follows our main character of Freya, who after the prince basically passes away, she is placed into the prince's spot because she's like the spitting image of him, and this kingdom doesn't want the neighboring warring kingdom to know that the prince is dead. There is a lot of blood and gore in here. The second volume ended on a cliffhanger, and so that's why I had to pick these up. I'm definitely hoping to read Volume 3 in December. I also picked up Not Your Idol, Volume 1 and Volume 2. This is by Aoi Makino. The first name I might be pronouncing wrong. I have not seen that before, really. But again, this is another one that I've really enjoyed. I've read the first one, needed to pick up the second one. Actually, I needed to pick up both of them. Any of the books that I've already said that I've read for these mangas, but I'm still picking them up right now, it's because I actually had e-arcs of them. So I started reading a lot of these as e-arcs and continued reading them once I bought them myself. But so this is Not Your Idol. This follows a girl who used to be in a like pop idol group, but after a sort of stalker incident, she decided she quit that moved to like a completely different town, completely different school, cut off all her hair, wears very boyish clothes. And so this one also has very hard topics. I know in the first one they had a little bit of like sort of like almost like slut shaming, even though they didn't really have any like say that they had sex or anything like that. It was more just the fact that like girls that dress this certain way are asking for it. And it was said by not a very nice character, and our main characters are obviously not agreeing with that whatsoever, but it is topics that they've been talking about, so I'm very curious to see what they're going to do in the next one. Then I also have Blue Flag, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. I have read Volumes 1 and 2 as arcs, and I need to read Volumes 3 and 4. I am loving the series, but again, Volume 2 ended on a cliffhanger, and so I need to continue. This series follows Taichi and Futaba, who are actually our two main characters here, and some of their friends as they're sort of dealing with friendship, relationship, that kind of stuff. There are also characters that are LGBTQ, however, I don't know how those relationships are actually playing out yet, because it seems like in the first couple books, at least, that I've read, the other main characters don't actually know that about them yet. And then finally, we're on to the comics. We're almost done. We're almost done. We're almost done. He is so mad that he can't touch these books. But we have the newest volume of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot from Boom Comics. This is Volume 4, Frenemies, Ring of Fire. This is after their Hellmouth event, so I don't want to look at the back or really anything about this yet, because I do need to read most of this to continue the series. I think I've only read the first volume of this new reboot. I did like that, but I need to continue. And then I also picked up the first two volumes of Once and Future. So we have Volume 1, The King is Undead, and Volume 2, Old English. This is by Kieran Gillen, Dan Mora, and Tamra Bonvillain, hopefully. Kieran Gillen is the same writer as the Wicked and the Divine series that I absolutely love. He has some other ones that I've also read as well. Basically, anything that Kieran Gillen does, I give 4 or 5 stars. I've just really enjoyed his writing for these comic issues and volumes that have been coming out. And this all has to deal with King Arthur being reborn. I gave Volume 1 5 out of 5 stars. Earlier this year, I think I read it around the summertime. I don't fully remember everything that went on in it because there was a lot going on, but I really did enjoy it. And that's why I picked up Volume 2. I also really liked the artist in here, Dan Mora. He was the artist on the first volume of the Buffy ones from Boom. But then when he transferred over to here, because these are also Boom comics, once he transferred over to the Once and Future, they did get a new artist for the rest of the Buffy comics that I don't like as much. It's a little bit too sketchy and not quite proportional for their faces. Their eyes always look a little bit weird, but yes, I'm excited for that too. So, as you can see, I did buy a lot of manga and comics that I have already read. So, it's not as horrible as it could be. However, I bought 45 books this month, which is a lot. Okay, we're done. We're done. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos up Mondays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. So, I will see you then. Bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Good job, baby.